Good morning to you all and welcome to your weekly morning show. We start out with our discussion segment. Twitter, Amazon and Goldman Sachs and many more have been calling on their employees to return to the office, and some companies even have threatened to fire workers if they don't comply. Since COVID-19 restrictions eased, the debate of remote work versus in-office work has become more controversial than ever. In today's episode, we will look at working remotely or in office from an economic perspective and from an economic lens, and that is with the answers that Mr. Ali Metlawali has provided us. He is an economist and a risk management analyst. The first question I asked to Mr. Ali was, is it good or bad for companies to have people work from home?
Well, companies can experience both advantages and disadvantages when employees work from home. On the positive side, remote work can increase employee satisfaction, reduce commuting time and costs, potentially also lowering overhead expenses, and it also allows for flexible work arrangements as well as expanding the talent pool and accommodating employees with personal or logistical constraints. But remote work can present challenges in communication and collaboration, and also maintaining a strong company culture. It also can lead to limited social interaction and communication gaps and limited access to resources. Now, if I may expand on some of these points, I should say that working remotely can lead to feelings of isolation and reduced social interaction, especially for individuals who thrive in a collaborative and social work environment. And lack of in-person communication may impact team cohesion and hinder the spontaneous exchange of ideas. Also, remote work can sometimes result in communication gaps or misinterpretation of messages, particularly when relying solely on digital communication platforms. And the absence of nonverbal cues and face-to-face interaction can make it harder to convey complex information, as well as addressing conflicts or building relationships. And I should emphasize here that working from home may expose employees to various distractions, such as household chores, family responsibilities, or noisy environments, and this can impact concentration and productivity, particularly for individuals who struggle with self-discipline or require a dedicated workspace. So I wouldn't say that remote work is the magic solution for companies struggling to expand its workforce, but at the same time there are a few benefits from remote work if implemented wisely and on a more case-by-case basis.
And since we made the contrast between remote work and in-office work, we made the contrast between the two, and we talked about disadvantages and advantages of these two. Can we say that hybrid work is the best of both worlds?
Basically, hybrid work, which combines remote work and in-office work, has gained popularity as a potential compromise. It allows for flexibility while still providing opportunities for face-to-face interaction and collaboration. And for many companies, adopting a hybrid model can be an effective way to cater to the preferences and needs of different employees while maximizing, productivity and maintaining company culture. But implementing and managing a hybrid work environment requires careful planning and clear communication, as well as fair policies. It involves addressing workforce management and communication and collaboration, technology infrastructure, company culture, performance evaluation, and many more. Now, companies must establish clear policies and guidelines regarding who can work remotely and how often and under what conditions, because determining the employee schedules and managing attendance and ensuring equitable opportunities can actually be a complex task. Also, as I mentioned earlier, maintaining a strong company culture can be more challenging in a hybrid work environment. And companies need to find ways to build connections and foster team spirits, and create opportunities for social interactions among both remote and in-office employees. Now, a final point here is that adopting a hybrid model may necessitate reconfiguring office spaces to accommodate a mix of remote and in-office employees, and this may involve redesigning the workstations and creating collaborative areas, or adopting even hot desking or flexible seating arrangements. And Finally, hybrid work environments can present challenges in maintaining effective communication. So ensuring, seamless communication between remote and in-office employees and facilitating efficient virtual meetings require deliberate efforts and the use of appropriate collaboration tools and platforms.
Okay, all right, well understood, Mr. Ali Metwalli. But all these questions actually lead us to ask ourselves about how does working from home actually impact the global economy?
Now, working from home can have both positive and negative impacts on the global economy. In terms of the direct impact on the economic growth, with more people working from home, there may be reduced spending on transportation and fuel and dining out. And this can have a negative impact on several sectors like transportation and hospitality and food services, leading eventually to decreased consumption and slower economic growth. The second point is that some businesses might postpone or scale back capital investments due to uncertain future demand or changes in the need for office space, and this can result in reduced investment and slower economic expansion. And the third point is that reduced office space requirements and increased reliance on digital infrastructure may lead to adjustments in public expenditure on physical infrastructure and related services, and this can impact economic growth that is tied to government investment and consumption. On the other hand, there are indirect impacts on business activity growth. For example, physical office environments often foster spontaneous interaction and idea sharing, as well as knowledge transfer among employees. And so working from home may limit this opportunity and potentially hampering innovation and also slowing down the development and diffusion of new ideas and services. And this can indirectly impact business activity eventually. Now, the shift to remote work also can have cascading effects on businesses that provide services to office-based companies. I'm talking here about cleaning services and office supply providers and commercial real estate. They all may experience reduced demand, leading to job losses and a decreased business activity. Of course, there are some positives like remote work, leading to cost savings or increased employee satisfaction, or potentially, accessing a broader talent pool, which can contribute positively to business activity growth and economic reliance. But, the negative effects should be taken into consideration for sure.
Well understood. Now, since the COVID-19 pandemic, people started caring more about their mental health, and they also have started preferring working remotely and from home, since they have understood that life is just not about work. They started also caring more about their personal lives. We have seen this shift since the COVID-19 pandemic. We've also seen that employers and workers all around the world are finding benefits of a 4-day work week. So how does this 4-day work week benefit businesses, not only people? And do you think that it can be implemented a little bit more in other countries around the world?
Well, a 4-day work week can benefit businesses by increasing employee satisfaction and, potentially having a positive impact on the environment, as well as enhancing productivity. But whether it should become a worldwide initiative depends on industry and cultural norms and specific, regional needs. Implementation requires careful planning for sure, and also consideration of economic implication. But generally speaking, industries that might see the largest benefit from a 4-day work week would include technology, professional services, and creative sectors. In the tech sector, where innovation and creativity are crucial, a 4-day work week can provide employees actually with dedicated time for rest and rejuvenation, and this can lead to increased productivity and improved problem-solving abilities, ultimately, driving innovation within the tech company. As for companies in professional services such as consulting firms, or accounting firms or law firms, often have demanding workloads and long hours. So implementing a 4-day work week can help alleviate, burnout, as well as improving the work-life balance and enhancing the employee retention, and professionals can have more time for personal commitments and self-care. Now, certain other sectors may find it more challenging to implement a 4-day work week, and this is due to their operational characteristics or specific industry demands. For instance, sectors that provide critical and round-the-clock services, such as hospitals, emergency responders, and healthcare facilities, they all typically require continuous coverage and staffing, and these sectors often face high demand and the need for immediate response, making it difficult to reduce work hours without compromising, patient care or emergency services. Also, industries that rely heavily on customer interaction, such as the retail or the hospitality or customer service, they all may find it challenging to implement a 4-day work week without negatively impacting customer experience. These sectors often need to align their working hours with customer demand, which may require staffing throughout the week, including weekends and evenings. Finally, sectors also involved in transportation, logistics, and supply chain management, they often need to ensure timely delivery and coordination across various stages of the process, and these industries typically require consistent staffing and operational coverage to maintain efficient logistics operations. Also, manufacturing and production processes, they also may face difficulties in implementing the 4-day work week as well. So while the 4-day work week may be beneficial for some sectors, other sectors may find it hard to implement, especially on the short run.
Well, it seems like the 4-day work week is a very interesting concept and a very good idea for many workers and employers and employees around the world, but it definitely cannot be implemented or generalized in all sectors of activities and everywhere. Thank you so much, Mr. Ali Metwali, for your insights and for your time, and thank you for following us, but stay here for the news highlights or the weekly news highlights.